Alright, hopefully I'm up now. I guess I've just been talking to myself for the past like 30 minutes. Um, there's been a ton of repairs, and they finally choose to start it now. So, we see an Ultra Ball getting another Gothita, and then a Scala for Beach. And then he Beach to replenish his hand. It's nothing more you can really ask for, maybe an energy. Now I look at Justin's hand, and he has a ton of energy in it, and a Juniper, so he's gonna Juniper away at least 3 energy, oh, 2 energy, and then another Juniper. Alright, so let's see what he has. If he has like a Dark Patch with a Sableye, that's probably his best bet, but he doesn't have any trainers in this card, so it's not really worth it. And he just escape ropes to the Trubbish, plays a Floatstone, plays a Laser, gets a Heads, and then he is going to play another Trubbish. Oh wow, he drew 3 Trubbish. Plays a Bike. Now he has an Ultra Ball, but he doesn't have a Dark Patch. So he's gonna Ultra Ball, most likely get Sableye, I would suspect. He doesn't play Absol in his deck, so it's just like 3 Sableye, 3 Darkrai, and like 3-2 Garbodor, I think. Okay, so he just goes for Darkrai. He senses that Darkrai is the main thing in this matchup. He could have gotten a Garbodor to shut off abilities until Christian drew into. Oh gosh, and then I think the camera went down. But he could have gotten the Garbodor and then try to just like he'll evolve it next turn and get rid of like his abilities for the few turns that he would have. Alright, so he Ultra Balls for the Gothitelle. He has the Rare Candy in hand, so he's gonna Rare Candy Goth. And now Justin will be locked out of trainers. So here, if he would have gotten the Garbodor, he would have been able to use trainers for this turn at least. Who knows, maybe they were all prized, which would really put a hamper on things. Alright, so he is opting to retreat the Trubbish. and he retreats it to the Darkrai, and oh wow, so Christian has a Tool Scrapper, and that is what he wanted. If so, last turn Justin had the Garbodor, he would have been able to like dump the few tools, and then like it kind of wouldn't really matter though. It depends what his hand would have been, and if he would have been like able to go through some of his deck and try to get Dark Patches, because he did discard three Dark or two Dark on the first turn. The deck only plays about 9, and with no access to Dark Patch, it lends like kind of a big problem to the like energy acceleration with this deck. You can only just attach. Alright, so he does get the third energy though. N and N. He is going to Night Spear the active and 30 to the Gothita with the 2 energy on it. So if Christian does not draw a way to evolve that Gothita, then next turn Justin's going to be able to knock it out and like take 2 prize turn and put Christian in a real disadvantage. So he gets the Verbank to replace the Beach, and does the 90-30. Let's see if Christian has a response. Really does need to evolve that Gothita. It does not look like his hand really can. I see a level ball. He could get the Gothorita, the stage 1, and evolve. It'd at least save the Gothita for the turn. Oh, okay, so he scours for the rare candy, and he is going to be able to evolve that Gothita this turn. Level ball, most likely getting another Gothita. It's really hard for them to like keep their string of attackers going, and Gothitelle just doesn't do enough damage to Darkrai either. I don't know, let me do the math real quick, but 3 energy on the Gothitelle right now, it does 20 more for each one, so that's 110, I believe. Wait, I'm really bad at math, I'm also really tired. They're both 201, and um, yeah, so he didn't get a third energy, so that's gonna hurt Christian a lot. He did Beach for like a new hand, which is always good, but this Darkrai is gonna be able to like stack damage on a bunch of places. And we see an N from Justin. It's gonna get rid of at least the Psychic Energy that was in Christian's hand, because I know I saw that when he drew from the beach. And there's a grip of Psychic Energies in his hand now. We do see another energy come down on Darkrai, which is what Justin needs to see. Since he can't use trainers, he wants to see all these energies in his hand to where he can stream Darkrai's. I think if he can get the second Darkrai up, he should have a good advantage at this game. So Christian has the XP share on the Gothita on the bench, and Juniper's away a handful of supporters, but there's also a rare candy in there too. gets the Gothitelle. And I think he attached the Gothitelle this turn, which I don't know if that was the right play at all. Uh, oh wait, no, it was because I forgot about Gardevoir. Um, so he is able to attack this turn with the Gothitelle, even though it has 2 energies on it, because the Gardevoir's ability, it makes all psychic energies on psychic Pokemon equal to psychic. So the Gothitelle actually has 4 psychic energies on it, and with its attack it does 30 plus 20 for each psychic energy on it, so it's going to be doing 110. And then minus 20 for Darkrai's resistance, so it's going to be putting 90 damage on that Darkrai, and with the Gothitelle with XP share, that'll mean that it'll be able to knock out this Darkrai next turn if he gets a Gothitelle up. But if Justin can keep attaching to that Darkrai, then I'm pretty sure he's just gonna lose. Or I mean, he's just gonna win. So he does have another energy, and he Junipered away like 8 trainers, I believe. But his hand doesn't look like much. I do see another Dark, maybe? If it is, it's really good for him. So Justin really needs to see that 3rd Dark energy. And while Christian, all he needs right now is a Gothitelle. Scanning to make sure it attaches to the Gardevoir. I don't know about that. Like, I would have just saved the energy in my deck, I think. Or at least just attach it to the active. And maybe he can build up to like 1 hit a Darkrai in like 2 turns. Alright, so he gets a Gothita, but from the looks of it, it doesn't look like he hit the Gothitelle. Oh, there's a Mewtwo. See, if he wouldn't attach, that would have been pretty good. It wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have been, just because he wouldn't have had the resources to knock out the Darkrai. He would have been 10 short. And there's a Gothitelle from Rises. Oh, I guess that's just a Gothitelle and not a Gothorita. I must be blind. Disregard everything I said for that, like, a whole turn, I guess. So he's in a pretty good position, but Justin did get the 3rd Dark Energy. So he can't knock out the Gothitelle this turn, which is bad, but he's going to be able to 2-hit it at least. But that's going to let Christian build up at least 90 damage on that Darkrai. So Justin added himself to 4. Christian gets 4 also. And let's see what he's going to do. One thing that might be possible is Christian is running low on rare candies, I believe. I think there's been 3 played. And if he doesn't evolve that Gothorita, and speak of the devil, Gothorita there. I'm still surprised that I haven't seen a Mr. Mime from him. It's kind of usually the first thing you go for against a deck like Darkrai. Maybe he just doesn't play it, but it really is one of like the best cards out there right now. Uh, it's almost too good not to play. And like this 30 damage has been mattering so much. It's an energy on the Sableye, so he could retreat to the Sableye and confuse Ray for the knockout, which is what he did, and that means it forces Christian to have another Gothitelle, this time actually, because it's Gothorita. Attaches an energy, or is that, no, it's just a Gothitelle. Alright, attaches energy to the Mewtwo, and then takes the knockout with Gothitelle. Justin's in a real predicament though, like, I think he's out of energy. There was 3 on both Darkrai's. He discarded 2 turn 1, and then he had the 1 on Sableye. That's 9, unless he put in more energy when like I wasn't looking, then I'm pretty sure the energy on that Darkrai is his last energy of the game. And yeah, that's what it looks like it's gonna be. He just retreats. And oh gosh, I'm pretty sure this game's gonna go to Christian now. Also, the big thing is only taking 1 prize on these Goths. He could try to deck Christian out. That is an option. I just noticed that Christian had like 2 or 1 card in his deck, and not that many cards in his hand. I think there's about seven, I think, 6, 7. Oh wow, so he does play 10 at least. Attaches to the Darkrai, and if his option is to deck him out, then he can most likely retreat to the other Darkrai. It depends how many ends Christian has used or discarded. And Justin just has a handful of trainers too. So he does decide to retreat to the fresh Darkrai. No energies on it. That means Mewtwo won't be able to do more damage. And okay, he has a Dowsing Machine, most likely getting an N or a Super Rod, and it gets a Super Rod. Gives him 3 more turns. So there's 3 Psychic Energy in the deck. Charging up that Mewtwo to be a beast. So 3 turns to count it out. He does 90. Alright, he does 110. Or no, he does 130. Yeah, he does 130. Unless he has another way to retreat, which his hand is full of trainers. Just to pass. And oh, he ends. I didn't see how big Christian's hand was, but if it was less than, if it was like 2 cards, then he actually less time before he decks out. This all depends if Justin has another energy. If he has another energy, he doesn't really have much of a chance anyway. But there's energy on the Goth. Let's go ahead and knock out the Darkrai. And now Justin just loses this game. There's not really any way he can really knock out the Goth. His Dark Claw was tool scrappered a while ago, and he concedes. Alright. Game 1 goes to Christain Ortiz with his Gothitelle Gardevoir Mewtwo deck. And I still didn't see Mr. Mime. We went through his entire deck and most of his prizes, so I don't know if he plays it. And that's kind of risky if I say so. Like, Mr. Mime is just so important against Darkrai and like Plasma Kyurem and Landorus and stuff like that. Like, especially when you're a stage 2 deck, the reason which makes Blastoise so good is because the Squirtle can't be damaged on the bench. And like that reasoning, they don't need to play Mime, but if you're waiting to like evolve your stage 2s, then it kind of hurts. So, quick update on like all the big names, I guess. Almost everyone has a tie, like really. There's only about one table, 1.5 tables that are still 3-0, and it's definitely been a problem today. Alright, there's a handshake. Game 2 is about to begin. Justin is going first since he lost game 1. Looks like he mulligans this time, which in the beginning he mulliganed like once or twice, I believe, and uh, it led Christian to be able to get that turn to Gothitelle. Alright, so he got a basic now, and I still like think if he went for the Garbodor his second turn, or his first turn, I believe. Yeah, his first turn. If he went for the Garbodor, he would have had a turn of being able to play all his trainers. And uh, depends. Like I want to know if that really matters or not. If he could have played like an extra Dark Claw, he would have had more damage, and he couldn't Tool Scrapper like the 2 Dark Claw and the Floatstone. If he was able to play a Dark Patch, he would have saved an energy. Alright, so there's an Ultra Ball for the Darkrai. Discarding an energy and a Dark Claw. Computer Search, discarding Garbodor, and I think an N is what it looks like. One thing that hurts Justin in this matchup and against Trainer Lock in general is with his deck he plays like 4 random receiver and then just N and Juniper. He doesn't play any other supporters, so uh, once he's out of those, he really can't do much. So it looks like he can computer search for the Juniper, attach the energy to the Darkrai, attach the Dark Claw. Then he has an Ultra Ball. See another Juniper in his hand with a laser and a Verbank. Wow. So he's gonna laser Verbank and pass. So it's going to put 30 damage on that Gothita, forcing Christian to retreat that Gothita next turn, or it's just going to die by poison and be a free prize for Justin. See a Tails, and then a Verbank, and then the 3 damage on the Gothita. And since Christian went second, he's not going to be able to evolve that Gothita, and it's going to be harder to play around this poison. So he did not have a Pokemon, and that's game. He Junipered trying to hit a Pokemon and was unable to, having poison just do Justin's dirty work for him. So that's game 2. I guess the good thing about that being so quick is Christian has time to play a full game if he needs to in game 3. And he's going first. So that's always good to know that you're going first going into game 3. All right. Uh, looking around, there's not really many players finishing up. Still a little bit of time left. And the thing with all the repairings too is that juniors and seniors they're on like round 5, I think. Just it's been so like they'll start them and then we'll be delayed for like 40 minutes and then we'll start. It's definitely been very lopsided in the way each is handled, but of course, seniors and juniors don't have 251 players. All right, players draw their cards for game 3, and this time it's Christian with the mulligan, giving Sanchez the extra card. Now, usually like mulligans matter a lot, but it's less when you actually get the chance to go first and like end your opponent away out of those extra cards. Uh, it does really hurt if you don't like get the N, I guess. It really depends, but whenever you mulligan, it's always just not good. You don't want to give your opponent any more advantage than they might already have, especially like depending on certain matchups and stuff too. Yeah, there is 5 more rounds after this. 5 more rounds and some wacky stream and my voice. All right, so I believe no, another mulligan. That's 2 extra cards for Justin. And this mulligan's also taken up a little bit of time too, especially with the amount of shuffling Christian is taking in between. There's a lot less this time now, but it's definitely a factor because this game, the way both decks are, they play slow. And another one. Oh wow, this is really gonna hurt Christian if he doesn't have an N in his opening hand. That means 3 extra. He's gonna start out with 9 cards. or 10 cards in his hand turn one. Alright, let's see if he gets a basic. I think that is, but I think it's a Ralts, which is not what Christian wants to see. Sanchez gets those 3 cards. And then see if Christian has an N. See the Ultra Ball for the Gothitelle. Now the Gothitelle Garbodor deck's really interesting too, just because the way its matchups work out, there's a lot of them where it's like, if you just get out Gothitelle, you win. And then there's a lot where it's just, you can't win no matter what. And then there's like only a few where it's like, actually like plays it out. And I think Darkrai is one of those like, where it actually like plays out all the time. Just because Darkrai, like, it plays probably over 40 trainers, and it relies on them so heavily too. So it looks like he just junk hunted, but Christian does not capitalize on Justin's bad hand to get a Gothitelle in play. Because it does look like Justin's hand is just a bunch of trainers, and I think he wants a Juniper. Yeah, because he had an N and he didn't want to end Christian's bad hand. So that's why he junk hunted for the random receiver last turn, even though he got an N off of it. So he's going to attach and then Juniper his big hand of trainers away. Leaving Christian in a very bad spot right now. So we see an Ultra Ball. He didn't discard any Dark, so he probably doesn't have Dark Patch in hand. Or just wants to, like he found out like the first game, he wants to try to save as many Darks as possible. Especially since next turn Gothitelle can come out. But what he can do is like junk hunt for Dark Patch and Ultra Ball. Or he just has a Dark in there from the Juniper too. But junk hunted for the Bicycle and the Dark Patch. Christian Rare Candies to the Gardevoir. And attaches Silvermere and passes. This is just not good at all. And I do not believe Christian plays like Sigilyph either. Because that would be pretty good against this. Like if you could take out all the Garbodor and then somehow just swallow Sigilyph, I guess. Game 3. Justin Sanchez versus Christian Ortiz. Darker Garbodor versus Gothitelle Gardevoir. So Justin gets his Darkrai set up. That Dark Patch he attaches and then Night Spears, and this is almost certainly game. He's gonna be able to kill the Gardevoir, put 60 damage total on that Gothorita, and Christian has no hand. And he top decked an N. Wow. So he is still in this. It is very, like, slow that he's not, but he has the Gothitelle out now. And that N top deck gives him a fresh hand. Does get Mewtwo. Mewtwo seems like his only saving grace right now. Especially with the way he's been drawing, it seems Mewtwo is like the only way he can really do stuff this game. Alright, so that's... I can't tell if that's a Gothitelle or not. I know it's not because he's playing trainers. I don't know. I'm gonna go see real quick. Guys, I'm bad and forgot that Garbodor was in play with a tool. So just don't mind me at all. With that Garbodor, it shut off Magic Room, so he was able to use trainers. So it really just looks like Justin's running away with this game. With Christian's dead draws in the beginning, it did not allow him to set up at all. Alright, so he gets another Mewtwo, and then Juniper's looking to attach, do 80, I guess, get XP share maybe. Let's see, his escape rope. It's not looking like much. And he did not hit the energy, so he just has to pass. And that's really tough for Christian. So it's the laser, and then he plays an N. And he has the Dark Claw, so he is knocking out the Mewtwo this turn, putting 30 damage on the Mewtwo on the bench. Christian doesn't play any sort of double colorless, and it is just most likely just gonna lose. It's really tough to see too after like that game one where he got the turn 2 Gothitelle and then was building up his Goths on the bench and was able to hit the Tool Scrapper. And then it reduced down to game 2, dying by a laser turn 1, and then dead draws like this game 3. If Justin has laser in hand, he just wins. But doesn't look like he just has a Darkrai and a Dark Energy. But it's 99% Justin's gonna win. Especially with that Sableye down. It's gonna be able to let him junk hunt for Dark Patches, for lasers, for Dark Claws, anything he needs to finish off this Mewtwo. So we see him escape rope to the Gothita, just trying to buy time, I guess. Honestly, would have just brought up the Gardevoir because I had the Float Stone or the Sableye, but he just wanted to retreat manually with the Darkrai, I guess. And he Night Spears puts that 30 on me too, and it's going down this next turn, unless Christian plays like Max Potion or something. And it doesn't look like anything, so he's just gonna stall it out as long as possible, I guess. His only hope is like time won't even matter because there's +3. He is just playing to play it out. I think. Well, there's Tool Scrapper, so it's not over yet. It's close, but no cigar. Alright, so there's the 80 on the Darkrai. There's the bike, and he gets the Dark Claw for game. And there you have it, Justin Sanchez beat Christian Ortiz. He moves on to a record of 3-0-1, while Christian is 2-1-1. In this interesting matchup of Gothitelle Gardevoir versus Darkrai Garbodor. Or Gardevoir, oh gosh. I can't say Pokemon names. I will try to get other players' records updated